Hey, we're saints. Father Chris, Deacon Greg with you. Christ is risen. Glad to have you, beautiful people, with us as we continue our crucifixion live stream this week. So, what's up? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. This week is a joyous week in my house. We have a young child who's no longer a young child, but a woman who is going to be matriculating from the high school. So, in a couple of days, my youngest will graduate high school and eventually we'll be off to the college. Pretty fun.
That's fantastic.
I know.
I think it's beautiful.
I'm excited. Why are you smiling like that?
It's nice.
It is nice.
I mean, I moved here. She was so little.
Yeah.
Now she's an adult leaving.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's fun.
So let's get into it. I don't want to waste time because we've been kind of bantering this topic around. Something happens to me quite often that I wanted to explore: what, why, when, how, who, all the good stuffs. I decided this morning that I was going to send somebody a text message to check on them, right? Like somebody was ill. I wanted to follow up, check in, and I've got the message in my mind, and I go to the phone. And as I pick it up, I see, of course, there was already somebody else who had chimed in another message on a totally different topic. And so, of course, like every good, Pavlovian dog, I just opened it, and then I started dealing with it, responded, moved on. And then in that blink of an eye, I forgot why I picked up my phone. Like, I don't remember. I didn't even remember, forget who. I didn't even remember at all. I was like, what did I even do this for? Now, granted, part of that is perhaps old age. Happy, my assistant even said, no, you've got too much on your mind. Part of that's old age. But it led me to think about, doing things in the moment when you're supposed to. Why did I have to answer that other text? Get distracted. And then you and I had the conversation that there are so many distractions. How do we deal with all that? How do you deal with that? How do you, Deacon Greg, how do you deal with distractions? You just ignore me is what you do, right?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
Yes.
I was looking at my phone.
Yes.
I was distracted.
I understand.
See what I did there?
I see.
That was like a joke.
Clap
thing.
for yourself.
Yeah,
Clap.
can I?
Clap.
Yeah.
Just before you go on, this clapper, there's a screamer in there. He's really excited.
Yeah, he's really happy.
All right.
It's really nice. I struggle with it. I don't know that it's only old age. I don't know that it's only stuff, too many things on the mind. I just think it's where we're at. I think that so many things have hit us at so many different times, and they've crept in at so many different times. They've vied for our attention, and we've allowed them to erode at our abilities and the muscle that controls how we're able to pay attention. So for so long that, we're all dealing with the same stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I pick up my phone and I look and I see all the things that are there.
Yeah.
And I wonder why I do that. Or I get stuck going down a rabbit hole. Like, I took Facebook off of my phone during Lent. I have not yet put it back on. It has been fantastic because I'm not checking it all the time. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not just sitting there randomly scrolling for however long, ignoring everything else around me.
Yeah. It's a great thing. I would encourage you not to put it back, even though many of our audience watch us right now on Facebook.
Yeah.
I took it off a while ago too and haven't put it back, and I rarely check it. I just check to make sure there's no, comments that need to be responded to or that kind of stuff. But I don't. It's a blessing for me. I'm glad I did it. So maybe let's go into this, Deke. Let's come up with kind of a list of distractions that we all face. Obviously, the socials are a low-hanging fruit, which obviously implies the cell phone or whatever device of choice, tablets, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Are there, other things in your mind or in your day-to-day that is a distraction that you see all the time?
Well, I have little kids.
Yeah.
So there's that. Baba, watch this. Baba, watch this.
Yeah,
Baba,
yeah.
watch this. Baba, watch this. And maybe it's while I'm in the middle of something. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, but it's still there. It's constant. And it's not just the toddlers that do it. People in general often are distracting. How often are either of us sitting at a computer and trying to do some work and someone comes up and just starts a conversation with us?
Right.
While we're in the middle of doing something.
Yep.
They don't even say, excuse me. They just launch right in.
Yeah, totally. I know it. I do it to you Sorry, by the way, but I do that. I can't stand. It's funny when you
You
said,
just did it a couple minutes ago.
yeah, you were talking about, you know, your little kids. I mean, I would say family. I don't have little kids anymore, but sometimes when I'm working from home, I my bride, whom I love more than anything in the world, will just come up and start talking. I mean, it's clear my back is to, in the where I set my computer up in the house, my back is to her, and she has to come in and kind of, move around in front of me, and she's like, just starts, and I'm like, can you not see that I'm doing something? Maybe I shouldn't be doing that at home, which is probably the truth, but at least for this point, family, people, but it happens in your family too, and in your case with the little ones, the beautifuls.
I mean, it even happens while we're at the store. It happens all over the place. People are so often in their own worlds that what they're worried about comes directly out of their minds. They're not worried about what you're worried about. They're not
Yeah.
worried about what you're doing. They're worried about what they've decided is the most important thing right then.
Right.
And because they've decided that that's the most important thing right then, they've decided that everyone else should think
Totally.
it's the most important thing
Totally.
right now.
Totally. Yeah, I'm guilty of it too. It just kind of happens by default.
We all do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how are we not going to do it? We're
Right.
all so focused on whatever we're focused on that we just assume that that's the most important thing right there.
All right. I was thinking about it too. That's a good one. Obviously the devices and all the socials and people can be very distracting. I found another distraction to be my calendar. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is the sheer volume of all of the things that we place on our calendar, or I should say it like this, that we permit to be placed upon our calendars, right? Nobody has control over my calendar but my assistant Happy. But, I mean, like nothing should be allowed to get on there if I don't somehow okay it or have a protocol in place for it to be okayed. And yet, an invitation here, some FOMO there, and next thing you know, you look at the calendar, and we've all had that happen, right? Where you agree to something 6 months out, and then by the time you get to it, you've allowed other things to, surround it, and all of a sudden you dread that thing that you were initially so excited about. Anyways, I find that to be distractions as well.
Yeah. Because it almost feels we have so many things that we have to do that we just feel like we're running constantly
Yeah.
all around the places, and just you get I get exhausted
Yeah.
from feeling like I have to run from here to there, and then you're constantly feeling the pressure of time. Am I
Yeah.
going to be on time? Am I going to get there? Am I going? So there's so many things that play into all of it.
Totally. And you said something, Deacon Greg, that made me think about this too. The sense of obligation to engage in other people's work, which kind of goes to what you were saying earlier about, well, it's important to them and they throw it at you. But there's a great story, and I presume it's true because he wrote about it in one of his books. So there's a now deceased psychologist, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and he did a lot of studies on the concept of flow. You know those moments where you're working on a project and you like vanish for 4 hours and you wake up, you're like, holy cow, look at all that. I was flowing. That's what Csikszentmihalyi was studying. And he sent a letter asking the management expert, Peter Drucker, to, help him with a project about creativity. And Drucker's response, well, it floored Csikszentmihalyi because he put it in his book. But when I first heard it, I was like, holy cow, that's awesome. He basically said, thank you so much. I appreciate your letter. I don't know what creativity is. I do know what productivity is. And that is basically, he said, it is fitted to do the work that the good Lord has given you and not to help other people advance their work. And therefore, he says, listen, Drucker said, I have a big trash can to take care of all responses just like yours. So in other words, he said to Csikszentmihalyi, and he said it in the response, I admire you, I've admired your work from afar, but my duty is to do my work. That's what the Lord has instructed me to do. And I don't think Drucker meant don't help people, obviously. That's the call of the Gospels, to serve other people. But he's saying, if I'm helping you with this and him with that and her with this, I'm not doing what I was, instructed to do. And there is that sense of obligation that we feel. I feel it pulling strongly, like I need to go to this wedding, or I need to go to that baptism reception, or I need to go to this dinner, or this or this or that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we're furthering. Oh, the other one is like when you get, and we get them all the time. These beautiful and humbling and honoring us with these invitations to go and speak here or there and say these things. And really we become a piece in the puzzle to help the furtherance of someone else's project. When what we should be doing, at least according to Drucker, is sitting our, what's right here, doing what we're doing right now and teaching and, doing our work. I talked a lot.
No, that's good. It's yes.
Yes. All right.
But it's hard. It's hard to navigate those waters. It's hard to get through all of these different distractions, to figure out all these different ways through all of this different stuff and get to a place where we can make some type of sense, where we can have some type of semblance of cohesiveness in our own lives. Like,
So
yeah,
let me ask you this before we get into that. We've identified a couple of culprits that come at us or that we permit into our lives that distract us. But do you notice, and I know you're not a biologist by all means, but you know a lot, or a psychologist, but you do know a lot. I mean, what are you seeing as the physical, mental, emotional, whatever ramifications of this constant distraction and the constant submission to the distraction? Like, I'm thinking in terms of, like, even when I'm in church praying and I'm leading the service, and it's not like the text isn't written in the book in front of me, and then I'm saying the words, but my mind could be like way over there or way over there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So what's the byproduct, if I will? What's the outcome? What's the result? The consequence? I don't know. Did I put you on the spot with something?
no, anger, fear, loneliness, all of the things that we talk about, people are feeling all over the place. I mean, where do you think that's really coming from? In my estimation, it's
Yeah.
really coming at the core of that. At the core of all of it is this allowance for distraction, this inability to focus, this inability to stay clear on what's going on, why it's going on, how it's going on, what we should be doing versus what we're allowing ourselves to do. And we go into these escapes because that's ultimately what all of it is some form of escapism.
Yeah.
And we go and we run down all these different rabbit holes, chase everything down, thinking that it's going to give us this cheap high of feeling better and feeling like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And then at the end of the day, like, everyone's had that boss at some point.
Not you.
It's not you.
All
I'm
right.
asking for a friend. But everyone's had that boss at some point where it comes across that their job, or the way that they understand what it means for them to do their job, is for them to dictate and almost micromanage everything that you're supposed to do in your job, which then becomes a distraction for them from doing what they're actually supposed to be doing in their job. And then I see what my wife's doing in her job, which is in a corporate setting, and they've built in to the corporate structure moments for that to happen. So this idea that my work as the boss is to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and going over through all of your stuff and kind of almost hanging over your head, which then gets in the way of me doing all of my own stuff and becomes a distraction from doing my own stuff, which then leads to me becoming angry and feeling like I don't have time to do what I'm supposed to be doing, is built into their corporate structure. That's how
They're anticipating it and just
they're not even anticipating it. They're cultivating it.
Oh.
They're creating it because it's built in to what that means to do that new job.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say this. I mean, I think we've kind of beat this horse dead a little bit, in the sense that we've got a long list of distractions that we need to deal with. Maybe in the rest of, this week and this episode, we can maybe address, like, what does it mean to focus? What should we be focusing on? And how do we eliminate those distractions, and that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously some distractions you can never, but I mean, at least maybe we can just lay it out.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff.
Good.
Hey, Warrior Saints, thank you so much for being with us. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us get the word out there. And if you want more, visit us at warriorsaints.org and subscribe to Understanding the Bible. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.